Hi everyone, it's Becky here. So today we are visiting a heritage village located in Richmond. So Richmond is a suburban city in the greater Vancouver area. So we are turning left on number 1 road into the little village area, and we just parked our car. Now we're walking to a little museum. Hi everyone, so we are visiting the interurban tram. So no ticketing, is free admission here at this little museum. Let's go in. Yeah, so let's travel back in time together to about 100 years ago in Vancouver, and in many parts of the world. There used to be trams roaming on the streets. So I was born in the 1990s and I've never been on a tram before, so this is very eye-opening for me. Yeah, I love how the seats are designed. Animals were allowed on trams. And I love how the advertisements were designed in the past. Many of them were hand-drawn. And I love the styles of letterings as well. Very creative. Yeah. Yeah, so here we have a video showing the real tram roaming on the street in this little community many years ago. And this heritage post office. There's a cafe restaurant there and some more heritage buildings. Yeah, so on the south side of the village is the Fisherman's Wharf, where there are a lot of fishing boats and seafood for sale. The restaurants are very quiet now because tourism season is over. And the weather is just lovely today. And I'm going back to the Tram Museum. Around the street corner, there is a cafe, the Rocanini Cafe. And I've been to their Chinatown location last winter. Yeah, it's very spacious in here. I found a big table in the middle of the cafe. So I sketched my latte and chocolate cookie. And here's my finished watercolors of my coffee and snack. Now, after eating and drinking, I'm ready to sketch the view outside. And I think that's the old tram station building and the foliage. So I'm going to use my Sailor's Fude fountain pen with a 55-degree bent nib as usual. I'm going to start to draw the solid shape of the station building. This is the contour outline that I see facing me. And then drawing these awnings in trapezoid shapes. So yeah, the awnings are kind of like triangular prism shapes. Getting the lower part of the building done. Now I'm capturing one person going inside that pharmacy over here to give a sense of proportion that the building is much taller than people. And these are the balcony railings on the roof. I think there's a little garden up there. And then drawing more of these lines to form the frames for the building's exterior. Drawing these letters, Steveston Station, and some more little awnings on the higher floor in triangular prism shapes. And then these small slices of window panels. Yeah. Just get these rectangles in and finishing the lamp over here. Drawing these flowers in doodly shapes and then suggest the window frames and the blinds behind the windows. Some more flowers in front of this window. And blinds. And then writing down the words that I can see on the awning. Yeah, it's the pharmacy there. Now I'm drawing these little cylinder shapes of stumps wrapped up in ropes. Very old-fashioned. Going back to the building to draw another level of rooms up there. And then drawing these window panels and door panels for the shop fronts. Again, using these loose rectangles to get the work done. Shade in some of these panels with solid brown ink to show shade and a sense of depth. Okay, now having fun drawing these horizontal lines slanting slightly down towards the left because of perspective. Another sign there on the right and a little bush. And more horizontal lines on the right for the wooden boards making up the exterior of the building. And the rocky surface on the lower part of the building here in the front, shading a few more window panels to show that there's really rooms behind these windows and doors. Some more stumps wrapped up in ropes, finishing the curb and the sidewalk with another person walking on it. Now I'm starting to draw these traffic lights and signs, starting from here on the corner of the sidewalk. And this post on the corner of the street is so busy, holding so many traffic lights, signs, and this street lamp. And it's holding another set of traffic lights here. And this intersection is very special with many sets of traffic lights. There's another post holding the electricity wires, behind. And another street lamp, even behind, it looks shorter because it's more far away. These electricity wires are going down to show a sense of perspective. Okay, so now I'm ready to draw the long arm holding the street sign. Yeah, so as I mentioned before, that post is very busy holding so many traffic lights and signs. Writing down the name of the street, number 1 road, which is very special. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and finish drawing the traffic lights inside that rectangular bar. Just 4 little cylinders attached to the rectangle. And keep seeing what's in front of me. And now I want to include a pedestrian walking across the street to add a point of interest over here. A little bit juxtaposition as well because the person looks the same height as my coffee cup. Now I'm switching to my oil-based brown pencil from Faber-Castel brand to trace out the contour outline of the tree. Close to the station building. Using these squiggly lines for the foliage texture. And really enjoying my drawing process. It's really fun to draw with this oil-based pencil. Tree trunks and some major branches. Switching back to my Sailor's Fielding fountain pen to add a car, crossing the street. And suggesting the curb on the other side. Back to the oil-based pencil. So when I'm using this pencil and creating bold lines, it's easier to eliminate those unnecessary details and just focus on these essential elements. The puffy tree canopies and the tree trunks. We can see the straightforward trunk of evergreen trees pretty easily a lot of times. So I just did that. And then the almost symmetrical foliage shape on the left and on the right of the trunk of this evergreen tree. Same for this one. The left side first and then the right side. Not exactly the same in organic symmetry. And then another tree's canopy to capture. Now I'm drawing this museum holding the tram. Just keep the form very simple and some bushes in front of it. Flakes. And I'm going to keep going with my oil-based pencil. Don't forget drawing these foliage details in the gaps between the posts and the building. Small bit of details and foliage texture. For here, it's nice to work with a brown pencil because we can easily establish a sense of depth, the front and behind relationship. And I just drew the 2 white stripes for the pedestrian's walkway, leading the viewer into the picture. And last bit of drawing details, window frames for the higher level there. Suggestion of lawn and curb area there in the back. Some more letters that I see on the awning. That's it. Here's a look of my 30-minute drawing of the urban landscape outside the cafe window. And in 30 minutes, I just created this much simplified version, just the essence of this scenery outside the window. So for filming, I'm putting my iPad on a tripod in front of me. I'm very grateful there's a lot of space in front of my table. There's a look at the cafe. Now, ready to paint watercolors, the exciting part. I'll be using my Mungyo palette containing 24 half-pan watercolors in here. For painting, I'm going to use the 2 Holbein water brushes and a towel to clean my brush tips. Now I'm ready to go. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to start painting the sky area. It's very cloudy now, and I think it's starting to rain outside. But I want to illuminate the sky with a bit of sunshine glow. I can feel the sunshine pushing through the clouds behind the trees. So this is lemon yellow mixed with a little bit of yellow ochre behind these trees to add some drama and to elevate the atmosphere of this ordinary scenery. So a lot of colors, they had to be felt with our heart instead of being seen with our eyes. Okay, now I'm ready to paint the rainy day clouds. So this is a mix of cobalt blue and permanent violet. Using these diagonal brush strokes to give the sky a bit more 3-dimension. And as I always mention in my other YouTube videos, the gray color on clouds is not water mixed with black. It's a much lively gray in the tones of bluish or purplish grays. And keep spreading this sensational gray. So every day is a good day to paint. You don't have to wait for a perfect blue sky all the time. For me, I love to paint the skies of all kinds of atmospheres: sunny, cloudy, foggy, stormy. Okay, now adding some of this purplish gray, a little bit more precisely between the trees. Now I want to punch on a bit of cerulean blue to show that there's a bit of blue sky fighting behind. Now I'm ready to get very expressive with the trees supporting the station building on this left. So I think I'm going to use pretty vibrant yellow greens with a pretty high ratio of lemon yellow. Starting with just pretty much almost pure lemon yellow, and then mixing just a little bit of lime green into it. And just spreading this glowing yellow all over these couple of trees, joining together. To make the yellow look even more dramatic, we need contrast, or a cooler color, which is this lime green mixed with a bit of viridian green for the bottom bit of the canopy, around 40%. So the yellow seems brighter with the support of green. And most trees in autumn, they start to change colors from top to bottom. So the bottom bit of those trees' canopies are still kind of green. Okay, and putting on a little bit of orange. Yeah, for a bit of color variety. And yeah, keep adding these warm glowing colors of yellow-green for other foliage. The shrub close to the museum. Now I'm mixing viridian green with a little bit of burnt sienna to paint the first layer of these 2 evergreen trees there in the back, using the tip of my brush to get these delicate branches done. And I'm keeping it really loose by using slightly different tonal variation with each brush mark. So the tree is not a very static or solid silhouette of green. And keep using the tip of my brush bristle to get these thin edges of the branches done. And then the next tree, just showing a little bit. Yeah, and it's a fun experience painting these foliage forms without painting inside a very solid shape. And these days, I'm actually really having fun with my brown oil-based pencil. to outline these foliage forms more gently, especially if they're in the middle or in the background. They don't have to be strongly defined. And moving on, I'm ready to paint the little tram museum using a warm red-brown. So just simply mixing permanent red and burnt sienna to add, to kind of spice up this scenery with these bits of warmer colors. And for the tree trunks, I'm gonna use a brown tone to color them in as well. Okay, and my next step is to shade those trees a little bit further using less watery paint. So here I'm grabbing Vermilion Green and mix burnt sienna into it. This time using my medium tip water brush now. My medium tip water brush is less watery, so it's easier to get these very concentrated paint. And this is wet on almost dry. And my brush strokes are following the same rhythm of how the branches are laid out on these trees' canopies instead of doing random dots. Yeah, so the lower part of these trees are more shaded than the top parts because the daylight is shining straight down. The bottom half is receiving less daylight. And if you want some of your glowy colors to look even brighter, you have to add more shaded tones around it. As you can see, I'm continuing to intensify the dark greens for these two evergreen trees behind the golden trees. Because the darker these two trees look, the brighter the golden canopies are gonna look for those middle ground trees. Yeah, and I'm also using these reasonable brush marks to show the layout of those branches on the evergreens, at the same time intensifying the dark green shade tone. Now, I'm also shading the middle ground tree here, just around the bottom half, using diluted shade of green, not too much, yeah, just so they look fluffier. And a bit more shading for the gaps between the lamppost and the building. Needs to be a little stronger there. And so this Fabriano Venezia sketchbook is a little tricky to use for beginners, but it's really fun to work with once you know how to handle it. And I found it's easier to achieve a sense of contrast and create texture using brush marks on this paper compared to some regular watercolor papers. So again, this paper is for mixed media, but I like how watercolor works on here. I like how sharp and how subtle the brush marks look on this paper, which may not be easily achieved on some watercolor papers. Okay, so I think that's it for the foliage area. I'm ready to paint the street and the building. So I'm going to illuminate the street with some very diluted yellow ochre as well for the whole building as well. Okay, so this building is gray, but when the sun is shining on it, it looks kind of a beige color. And I'm continuing this enjoyable experience painting the awnings, a red awning and a gray awning. Shade the left side of the building facing me with some leftover gray, which is blue purplish. For these glassy panels, playing with these expressive blues and purples and indigos. So glass, it could be reflecting the colors of its surroundings, like the sky, foliage, or the shaded colors of the surroundings. And painting these flower baskets with vibrant little red dots and some leftover greens. And I'm going to paint these glass panels with blinds behind them using green turquoise, reflecting the foliage colors, and some leftover turquoise for the glass windows above on the top level. Now I want to add more weight for the sidewalk using leftover brown and blue. And the color of cement and concrete could be interesting. It's not a neutral gray sometimes. And I'm adding a shadow under the curb using a purplish gray. And it's time to paint these small thingies in the landscape and polish the foliage around the posts. Shading the car with light gray. The outfits is people using leftover blue or purplish grays. And red for the rear light of the car. So it echoes with that red awning and the museum little building there. So this picture needs a little bit of warm colors. So it's really nice to have that little red awning. The little red-brown house of the Tram museum and the rear lights of the car stand out from this scenery. Okay, and I'm gonna use burnt sienna to paint the tree trunks, which is also a nice warm color to stand out. Okay, I'm very happy with the result. And here's a look of my 1 hour and 30-minute sketch on location. The sun came out. Alright, so thank you so much for watching this video, everyone, and happy Thanksgiving long weekend to my Canadian friends. If you like this video, please click like and leave me a comment below. Subscribe to my channel for weekly updates, and I will see you around in the next video very soon. Have a great day, everyone. Bye.